When you want to create a new workbook using VBA, it can be as simple as 2 words, and those words are workbooks and add. So here, I'll type in the workbooks collection object, the period operator, and then select the add method. And that's it. So before I run this, I do want to point out that right now I'm working with book 1. It's actually a brand new blank worksheet and I haven't saved it yet. So it's called book 1. So when I do go and run this, it just created a new workbook called book 2. And you can see that not only in the Project Explorer on the left-hand side that there is a new workbook open called book 2, but I can also switch over to it and there it is. And if I run this again, it's going to create another workbook, like book 3, then book 4, 5, 6, and so on. Now, if you want to create a workbook with more properties like the title, and maybe even save it to a location, you can do that too. So let me go ahead and close this, and head on back to Visual Basic. So I'm just going to change this a little bit. So I'll get rid of my workbooks add just for a second. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create an object variable called new workbook. So I will declare new workbook as an object. And I'm using the object variable here not only to shorten the code that I'd have to type, but also because using a variable that refers to an object is going to be a lot more efficient than repeatedly accessing the object. So I've declared new workbook as an object. Next, I want to set new workbook to be assigned workbooks.add. All right, so there's going to be a couple of different properties that I'm going to be setting. I'll set the title and also where I want to save this to. So since I'm setting multiple properties, I'm going to go ahead and use with. So I'll say with new workbook. I'll first set the title as weekly sales, and then I will save this. So I'll do a save as method. And the save as method has a couple of different arguments, the most important of which, of course, is the file name. So the file name is going to be assigned weekly sales as well, .xlsx, and I'll go ahead and close that, and end my with. All right, so that's it. Now, the way that I have this here, this is going to save it to the current location. So if this document were saved on the desktop, the new file will also be saved on the desktop. If you're creating this from a document that's saved in, say, your formulas folder, then the new document will also be in your new formulas folder. Okay, I'll go ahead and run this and take a look at what it's created. And I can see by looking at my Project Explorer that I now have a new file called weekly sales. And I'll switch over to it so you can see it. And there it is. All right, so those are 2 ways to create new workbooks. You use the add method, and then you can optionally define further properties.